if you would, what I'd like to have you do is do an exercise with me. If you would clap your hands, please. That's not a cheap way of getting an applause, by the way. All right, now what I'd like you to do is do the opposite of that. If you had your right hand on top of the left, do it the opposite way, or vice versa. How does that feel?
A little different.
Different. Feels a little weird, doesn't
More
it?
effort.
Why?
Put into it. Because this is doing it one way, and you have to get your brain to do it the opposite way.
Absolutely.
Reversing the effect.
Absolutely. Some of the speakers before me had mentioned that they've made a direct point in terms of trying to get people to think about what's going on. For example, in the school system, in other areas. A misnomer is thinking out of the box, to me. I say it's a misnomer because we just don't think. We don't think as people. Mark Twain once said that common sense is very uncommon. But we can't get stuck there either, because very often it has to do with the prejudices that we have, okay, and our perceptions. And let me give you an analogy of that, if you will, or a metaphor. There was a young man, teenager, on a farm that lived with his dad and his family. He had a beautiful white horse, gorgeous. He left the gate open one night, and the horse took off. Moaned and groaned about it for a week. And 7 days later, guess what happened? Came back with 7 other horses.
Ooh. Oh.
Okay.
Okay.
Then one of the horses was actually the most beautiful black stallion you would ever see. But it was wild. So he got on this black stallion trying to train it, okay? And it's going up and down and up and down, and all of a sudden it throws him off, okay? What happened the following day is, and he broke his arm when he got thrown off. The following day, the army came to get him to go to war. And guess what? Couldn't go to war because his arm was broken. So my point being is, what we think is the very worst thing that can happen to us is the very best. Raise your hand if you would. How many of you left the job, either you got fired or you decided to leave because of the aggravation and got a better one? Right? So very often, what we learn from the lessons from behind are the things that are most helpful to us. So we need to keep that in mind. One of the things that I've realized, because I've gone through a lot of mishaps in my life, okay, but we have to understand that it's okay for our minds to be twisted. Because we learn by that. When things aren't clear, they will become clear, but we need to think about what's going on. I wear my hat backwards. At work, I deliver Meals on Wheels, and one of the drivers said to me, one of the other drivers said, "How come Marty wears his hats backwards all the time?" And the other guy said he doesn't wear his hats backwards, his head's backwards.
Oh.
Okay? So there are times when my head is twisted also. It's also turned from time to time. We turn our backs on people that don't go along with what it is that we have to say, or don't agree with us. Okay? Believe me, we need to unify more. We need to unify with one another and understand that all people aren't going to be the same, and the people that we learn the most from are generally the people that aggravate us the most. And we fall. We fall making the mistakes that we make. But what we need to do is we need to learn to get up in regards to once we've fallen, wipe ourselves up, and get back up on the horse. There's 3 methods of how to do that, or what I call the blackjack method. Number 1, 21 seconds. Somebody aggravates you, take 21 seconds and change the thought from a negative thought into a positive thought. Bring it inside and feel it, and it will go away. Meditate for 21 minutes a day. Meditation takes off the stress so that we can think clearer. And number 3, if you do those things for 21 days, your mind will become much more clear and you will be able to accomplish many, many things. Just to follow up and finish, it's all in the state of mind. If you think you are beaten, you are. If you think you dare not, you won't. If you'd like to win but you think you can't, it's almost a cinch that you won't. If you think you'll lose, you've lost, for out in the world you'll find success begins with a fellow's will. It's all in the state of mind. Full many a race is lost ere even a race is run, and many a coward fails ere even his work's begun. Think big, and your needs will grow. Think small, and you'll fall behind. Think that you can and you will. It's all in the state of mind. If you think that you are outclassed, you are. You've got to think high to rise.
Right.
You've got to be sure of yourself before you can ever win a prize. Life's battle doesn't always go to the stronger or the fastest man or woman, but sooner or later, the woman or man who wins is the person who thinks they can. God bless you, and thank you for being a piece of the fabric of my life.